Welcome to the 2025 Dialogue, a masterclass series by the HR Association of India. I am Neha Jagnani, and today's session is tailored for the next generation of talent. Our theme today is Cracking Campus Placements, a masterclass for students and young professionals. Today's masterclass focuses on helping you navigate one of the most crucial milestones in your career journey with confidence, clarity, and impact. To lead us through this essential conversation, I'm delighted to welcome Vikas Dua, a dynamic voice in the HR space, celebrated for his impact on careers, campuses, and conversations that matter. Vikas is a passionate HR and a creative professional who blends leadership with creativity. With experience spanning hospitality, education, IT-ITES, and PR, he has contributed to building careers for over 120,000 individuals. Currently, he leads HR across India for Weber Shandwick IPG and serves as an executive fellow at Woxsen University. As the mind behind HR in my heart, Vikas writes, speaks, and vlogs about HR and personal development. He's a LinkedIn Top Voice 2023, Indian campus knowledge expert, and a Creator Accelerator alumnus. He has also authored the book HR in My Heart and delivered a TEDx talk aimed at empowering students in campus placements. Vikas believes in giving back and actively supports student-focused platforms like Attayn, HuddleUp.ai, and BRICS CCI, nurturing future talent and promoting purposeful engagement. Vikas, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you.
My honor entirely, Neha. Thank you so much for having me. It's
Wonderful.
lovely to see the great work that you and the HRI team are doing, and kudos to you for sparking these conversations and educating the larger group of students and the HR fraternity.
Thank you so much, Vikas. It's our pleasure to have experts like you on board, and we are able to share the insights to the wider audience that we have. Thank you so much for taking out time. So, to begin with, Vikas, my first question is beyond technical skills or CGPA, I want to know, what do companies today really look for in a fresh graduate?
Great question to kick off. Thank you for asking this. Well, it's true. CGPA is important, and I'm a firm believer that academics is important and skills are important too. But companies across the board, be it in industries like IT, BPO, PR, healthcare, you name it, they look for more, obviously, right? And I think for the broad part, there are a few skills or attributes that company professionals are looking at when they hire from campus. These are things like attitude, for example, or curiosity. We always love someone who's very eager to learn, ask questions, and adapt quickly. Teamwork is another great skill to have. In these times, I'm sure, Nia, you would also be aware that most of the work that happens in any corporate setup involves working cross-functionally with different sets of people, sometimes in the same office, sometimes in different offices within the country, many a times even across borders. So you need to be able to collaborate and work in teams very, very seamlessly, and be an individual who can not only lift one's own performance but also that of the larger team. Added to this, I would also say communication is a great skill and attribute to have in these times. Not only what we call as the spoken English skill, which is the more well-known piece, but also listening and the ability to articulate ideas, be able to share your thought process crisply, impactfully, so that the decisions are influenced and you get a seat at the table. That's extremely important. And in 2025 today, as we look ahead, I think it would be important to call out resilience as well, because that's another piece that all of us across levels have to be equipped with. The fact is, the world is so volatile, and so are businesses, that it's important for us to be able to recover from setbacks, be comfortable taking feedback, especially negative feedback. And yeah, I mean, I would also say, to round it off, that a lot of companies eventually look for a cultural fit, because every company has its own culture, and you want individuals who will come in and impact and be a part of that culture positively. So that's what I would broadly say. In fact, in my campus or my TEDx talk, which was built around campus, I shared a framework which I call the KYS framework. The K stands for knowledge, which is that CGPA bit that you spoke about.
Right.
The Y stands for you, which
Okay.
is everything about you, these skills and your achievements and capabilities. And the S stands for soft skills, which is some of which I've already named here. So
Right.
that's how I would guide anyone to think about this.
Sure, because such a valuable perspectives. So I hear attitude, curiosity, teamwork, the ability to basically articulate your ideas, having the ability to take feedback and give feedback, of course, and something very meaningful, which is a KYS concept, knowledge, you, and soft skill. So thank you so much. It truly highlights, the things that can really sets apart a candidate from others. So thank you so much. So moving on to the next
Thank you.
question, Vikas, which is what are some of the common mistakes that you see student making while campus placements, and what is it that they can do to avoid them?
Super question again, very close to my heart. Especially because at campuses, I've been a student myself, and over the decades, I have recruited thousands of students from campuses. So the biggest mistakes that campus students make at campus, Neha, are first, many of them kind of treat it too casually. They think it's a college viva, not really a job interview, and they aren't very well prepared for even basic questions like tell me about yourself or why do you want this role, right? Today there's also tendency to copy paste answers from the internet and sound very coached or robotic. I know of placement agencies or campus interview preparation setups which kind of guide students to mug up and throw out the remembered answers which are similar for everyone in the batch except a few words or sentences here and there, so that kind of beyond the point starts putting off the interviewers, right?
Right.
uh, on the flip side, there is also the cohort, and I was a part of that. That's why my TEDx talk. This is the tendency of some students to kind of get so caught up with the interview piece and so nervous about it that they end up messing up the interview because they're just so nervous and they're not able to bring their best selves forward to the interviewer. So that's another big challenge or mistake, which possibly, if you look at it, both of these, whether you're underprepared or treating it too casually, or the opposite end where you're just so nervous and so caught up with the pressure of the interview, both can be easily addressed through some strategic thinking and planning on your part. So that's what my guidance always is: that do your homework, prepare well, participate in mock interviews, and be true to yourself, be authentic, and that alone will put you ahead of 70% of the crowd.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Such a great reminder for students, Vikas. Thank you for sharing the practical tips. Moving on to my next question, Vikas, is how can students actually showcase their potential, especially in campus placements where they don't have yet much of an experience to talk about?
Superb question, Neha. In fact, campus interviews are all about judging potential, only rightly pointed out, because the fact is that there's not much to show, right, for any student. There are a few students who may have some sort of internship experience, or in an MBA institute, you may be able to meet a few students who have, after the graduation, worked for a couple of years and come into the workplace. But by and large, at least in the India market, 80 to 85% of students will have practically no work experience. So the idea is, how do you showcase potential to the candidate, to the interviewers? My apologies. Now, the fact is, you don't have a job title, but at the same time, you've a done well in your academics. That shows potential. The reason being that it has showed that you have applied yourself so far. You take ownership, responsibility. You can also showcase other responsibilities you may have held in the campus. It could be leading a college fest, for example, or being part of a committee where you've played a leadership role. Uh, Nowadays, in fact, the internet offers such great opportunities. You could be contributing, let's say, code to some open source programs, right? That's again a gold mechanism. Ideally, in an interview to showcase your potential, you will have to kind of bring forth some of these extracurriculars, if you will. That's the term one could use. They could even be from the field of sports, for example, because that again showcase that you are competitive, you believe in pushing the bar for yourself. And then if you've managed to acquire some certifications, possibly through add-on programs in your college or even outside, or through some initiative of your own, those are all pieces that add up and present your potential to your interviewers. So that's how the interviewers try to judge a candidate, more from the extracurricular and the projects and the work done outside of the academic sphere than within it.
Sure, sure. So to summarize, there is academics, there is you can show how you have taken other responsibilities in your capacity in your institute. Then there is a scope of the open source program, as you said, extracurricular
Yes.
activities, and last but not the least, certifications can also add so much value in your interview. So thank you so much for that. My next question, Vikas, is you have helped over 1 lakh students, individuals build their career. I want to know what kind of mindsets separates students who actually make it from the ones who don't.
So the fact is that Neha, while I have yes played a role in that many students' careers, but the fact is, and I must acknowledge that it's also a huge play of luck because I've happened to build my career at a time where India has really developed as a world-beating nation. We've grown by leaps and bounds over the last couple of decades. Post-liberalization, the economy has really taken off. There are much more opportunities, and now, with the internet and the digital world, these opportunities are even multiplying further. So, all kudos to the environment around us, which has enabled this. Having said that, yes, it's been a competitive space throughout. I mean, at the end of the day, the fact is that there are only a few well-known large organizations in every sector, and most students want to join these, right? So what ends up happening is at the end of the day, it's extremely competitive for every student every year, and the placement season or the time they pass out becomes extremely challenging for them to get the job of their dreams.
Right.
And if you ask me, when I think back about it, I think the few things that really matter that stand out in our books when we look at people who have achieved are traits like ownership, openness, grit, right? So the
Right.
ones who make it are those that break through the barriers and circumstances, and they continue pushing themselves, and they ask themselves, what can I do better? How can I do more? They don't uh, get constrained by challenges or by negative stories that they may hear from their network or from their community. They just show grit in terms of pushing ahead every day, trying to learn more, network more, connect to others, finding the right mentors, the guidance. So, in a nutshell, I think the ownership of taking charge of their career, it starts from there. Building up with, let's say, openness to explore new, different things. And then, of course, the grit, which I pointed out, which is about just hammering the nail day after day, knowing that one day you will break through, even if it's not immediately. So, no impatience there, but a calculated strategy in making sure that one is moving forward with a lot of focus, determination, hope, and a self belief that one can do it. I think that's what makes a real difference.
Sure, Vikas. So I've noted a few points which could be very critical for people to know. One is openness. Second is people who break barriers. They don't see challenges as, they could be overwhelmed, but they face those challenges and then they show up. Last but not the least, you should have an attitude of exploring new things and trying to see the positives, more than anything. So it beautifully highlights how mindset is the key. Keeping aside the academics, it's the mindset shifts that can help students to, take off that mark. So thank you so much. So Vikas, this brings us to the last question of this masterclass, which is what advice would you give to students who don't end up getting placed, and how is it that they can come back from this phase?
Sure. Again, a harsh reality. It often happens. Sometimes you may find the topper of the batch not getting placed till the end, and these are stories which every campus student will be able to share with you. It's nothing to lose hope over. First, my guidance is take a breath, just calm down. Campus days are only one route. They are not the only route to building a career. Many people, storied people, have gone on to even drop out of campus and build large global multi-billion dollar companies. So the fact is, if you have it in you and you have all of that we spoke about earlier, grit and an ability to believe in yourself and push it, you will make it no matter what, right? So having said that, I think if one is unfortunate enough and one hasn't managed to crack that coveted campus interview, I think the right thing to do would be to take this time to kind of reflect, introspect what went wrong, what could have been done better, maybe build a few skills, improve the quality of a resume, and then explore other avenues, right? Some of the other avenues which are available to everyone today, thankfully, are due to the platforms, online platforms, job boards, platforms like LinkedIn, which allow one to connect to other professionals in interested areas of work. One can even reach out to one's alumni and mentors, both from the college or from previous internships, and just sound them off. Mostly, we realize that mentors and referrals make a huge impact when it comes to hiring decisions because people tend to trust people who have worked with someone they know. So that's a huge opportunity. Connecting to someone who's already working or connected with an established organization, preferably at a decision making level, one can really push through, not maybe influence the hiring decision, but at least ensure that you have a fair chance of an interview and landing into the consideration set. So that's what I would advise. Reminding the listeners, the people watching this podcast once again, that your first job will never really decide your entire future, in except in a few rare cases, right? But how you respond to that first phase, how you build on this first job, that will be the more important foundation for you as you go forward. So stay proactive. Opportunity doesn't knock; it just kind of gets built over time, is what I say.
Thank you, Vikas. So, just to highlight a few points, you mentioned that the first thing that anybody should do is to reflect upon what has gone wrong, or rather, just reflect and try to build on that skill. Secondly, to explore other avenues. There are platforms like LinkedIn, and networking also plays a role. Having a mentor becomes key. So, your advice has been truly very reassuring, and brings hope and direction to students who need it the most at the time. So thank you so much. This brings us to the end of this masterclass, Vikas. On behalf of HRAI, I thank you for your time and insights. Right from your insights on what companies really look for, and to how students can bounce back if they are not getting placed. I think you have shared some practical tips, and you have shown us that confidence, mindset, and efforts they matter just as much as marks. So thank you so much for your insights.
My pleasure entirely, Neha. Thank you for having me, and I hope this is of value to your audience and our broader HR community.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'll just have a quick note to our listeners, Vikas. Thank you so much for tuning into this masterclass. If you enjoyed today's conversation, do not forget to subscribe and leave a review. Until we meet next time, stay curious and inspired. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vikas.
Thank you.